Are you ready to uncover the truth that could change millions of lives forever? What if I told you that a single proposal could reshape the financial landscape for every retired American? The camera fades in on a bustling city street where senior citizens walk with a mix of hope and uncertainty. The narrator's voice cuts through the morning noise, crisp and intense. This isn't just another news story. This is a revelation that will make you question everything you thought you knew about Social Security. For decades, seniors have struggled in silence: fixed incomes, mounting medical bills, the constant fear of falling behind. But today, everything changes. The announcement that sent shockwaves through Washington isn't just a number, it's a lifeline. $1,700, more than just a figure, it's a promise of hope, of dignity, of survival. Let's rewind. The story begins in the corridors of power, where decisions are made that impact millions. Donald Trump, a president known for bold moves, stepped forward with a proposal that would challenge the very foundation of how we support our most vulnerable population. This wasn't political rhetoric. This was a calculated strategy to address a crisis decades in the making. Imagine the struggle of a retired teacher, Mary, 72, who spent her entire life educating future generations, now counting every penny. Medical prescriptions that cost more than her monthly grocery budget, heating bills that seem to climb higher each winter. The American dream suddenly feels like an impossible illusion. But this proposal changes everything. The $1,700 increase isn't just money. It's recognition. It's respect. It's an acknowledgement that those who built this nation deserve more than mere survival. They deserve to live with comfort, with security, with the dignity they've earned through years of hard work and sacrifice. Breaking down the numbers reveals a stark reality. Inflation has eaten away at fixed incomes. Healthcare costs have skyrocketed. The average Social Security recipient has been fighting an invisible war against economic uncertainty. This proposal is their first real weapon in that battle. But how did we get here? The journey is as complex as it is emotional. Years of political gridlock, bureaucratic red tape, and systemic neglect had left seniors in a precarious position. Retirement, once a promise of relaxation and peace, had become a daily struggle for survival. Behind every statistic is a human story. Take Robert, a Vietnam veteran. His military pension barely covers his basic needs. The additional $1,700 means he can finally afford his medication without choosing between health and hunger. It means dignity. It means hope. The proposal wasn't just about numbers. It was about a social contract, a promise that those who dedicated their lives to building this nation would not be forgotten in their most vulnerable years. News networks buzzed, political commentators debated, but on the ground, in small towns and big cities, seniors watched with a mixture of hope and disbelief. Could this really be happening? The legislative journey was far from smooth. Each step was a battle. Political negotiations, budget meetings, intense debates. The proposal fought its way through a complex governmental maze. Every hearing, every vote was a testament to the resilience of those who refused to be silenced. Economic experts provided nuanced perspectives. This wasn't a simple handout. It was a strategic investment in human capital. Seniors aren't a burden. They're a resource. They're consumers. They're contributors to the economic ecosystem. The psychological impact cannot be understated. Financial stress isn't just about money. It's about mental health. It's about the constant anxiety of not knowing if you can make ends meet. The $1,700 increase represents more than currency. It represents peace of mind. As the proposal gained momentum, personal stories emerged. Thousands of letters, emotional testimonials, each narrative adding weight to the argument that this was more than a policy. This was a moral imperative. The breakdown was meticulously crafted. Cost of living adjustments, healthcare support, addressing the systemic challenges that had long plagued the Social Security system. It wasn't a band-aid solution, it was comprehensive reform. But questions remained. How would this impact future generations? What precedent was being set? The long-term implications were as fascinating as they were complex. Interviews with policymakers revealed a surprising consensus. This wasn't a partisan issue, this was a human issue. Republicans and Democrats, despite their differences, recognized the fundamental need to support those who had given their entire lives to the nation. The mathematical precision behind the $1,700 figure was itself a story of intricate economic calculation. It wasn't an arbitrary number. It was the result of extensive research, economic modeling, and a deep understanding of current financial challenges. Community centers became gathering points for discussion. Seniors shared hopes, fears, and potential implications. The collective energy was palpable. Something significant was happening. Media coverage intensified. What started as a policy proposal had transformed into a national conversation about values, about commitment, about the very definition of social responsibility. Legal experts weighed in. Constitutional implications, fiscal feasibility. Each perspective added another layer to this complex narrative. The human element remained paramount. Behind every statistical projection was a face, a story, a life waiting to be transformed. As the proposal moved closer to implementation, anticipation grew, not just among seniors, but across generations. This was about more than immediate financial relief. This was about setting a precedent, about redefining how we view aging, retirement, and social support. The journey was far from over, but the momentum was undeniable. A revolution was brewing, not with weapons or force, but with compassion, with understanding, with a fundamental recognition of human dignity. The $1,700 increase wasn't just a number, it was a promise of hope, a promise of respect, a promise that in this nation, no one would be left behind.